Today's video is sponsored by Helix Sleep. Okay, so as you guys already know, last week you voted for me to do some of Rie's favorite Japanese recipes, aka another great opportunity for me to be exposed as to how little culinary expertise and knowledge I have on foods that aren't grossly cheesy, deep-fried, pasta burger, Americanized messes. Some of these recipes look absolutely phenomenal though, and I don't think they're gonna be too hard, but there is a ton of stuff going on in this video. We're talking a huge platter for breakfast, a very intricate and delicate looking bento box for lunch, a yakisoba pancake okonomiyaki for dinner, and then a good old jiggly Japanese cheesecake for dessert. If I did all this stuff, we'd be here for hours, if not days, because this is a lot of food, and I didn't want to have to pick and choose because it all looks great. So I figured why not split it right down the middle, tackle breakfast and lunch for this week, and then leave dessert and the main course for next week. Part 1 of Rie's favorite Japanese recipes starts right now. I'm just trying to be open and honest here. This is a lot of work for a breakfast and a lunch in one day. It's a lot more than I would normally put in for myself. That's why it's a great thing that I am very well rested and up to the challenge due to my friends over at Helix Sleep. Helix is a premium mattress-in-a-box company that makes mattresses to fit your unique needs and preferences based on your body type and sleep style. Everybody's different, and Helix knows that, so they made a sleep quiz that matches your unique body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. You may remember that a few months back, I teamed up with Helix for the first time, and no joke, they basically changed my life. I took their sleep quiz, I put in all my specific details and preferences, they sent me a mattress based on all that information, and I have not been the same since. I just sleep so damn well now. The difference between my old spring mattress and this current Helix one is just night and day. I fall asleep almost immediately, and Nala and I are just so comfortable each and every night. Some of you guys have already told me that you've gone through the process, took the quiz, used my link, and gotten your own mattress, and that is awesome. I'm happy to hear you made the change. Especially because maybe the best part of this all is that Helix delivers to your front door for free. And if you're nervous to buy something that you've never tried before, Helix offers a 100-night sleep trial that's over 3 months to make sure you love the thing. If you don't, they'll pick it up for you and you'll get a full refund. So if you are looking for a new bed, I highly recommend you check out Helix. Click the link in the top line of the description. Go to helixsleep.com/David Seymour. You will get up to $200 off of your mattress plus 2 free pillows. And of course, thank you so much to Helix Sleep for continuing to support the channel. To make Rie's entire breakfast, you're gonna need some granulated sugar and kosher salt, some mirin and sheets of nori, Kewpie mayonnaise, fresh enoki mushrooms, some sake and mozzarella cheese, snap peas and fresh salmon, some white rice, and a couple of eggs. Ignore the ginger, some dashi broth base, ignore the curry powder, and some tofu. Also ignore the 2 herbs I'm putting up and some miso paste. I don't know what happened there with the ingredients. Those things I told you to ignore, we're gonna be using for the lunch portion of this video. Somehow they snuck their way into this ingredient list, so my fault. The very first thing I wanted to do today though was to just tackle my rice. I'm not even gonna get into it. We don't need any additional jinxes in this one. I got enough new things to try. I'm just gonna throw my rice in my rice cooker, let it go, and I'll come back to it as I need it. Next, I wanted to get started with the Tamagoyaki egg omelet. You're gonna have to excuse my pronunciation throughout this. I'm gonna try really hard, but it is what it is. Now this one should be the hardest part of the breakfast portion. I did have to order a new square pan for this, which was a little bit smaller than I expected. I got my egg mixture ready to go, and then super carefully and slowly over very low heat, I tried to start rolling this omelet. Very much like an omakase or a French omelet, you don't want any browning or any color on this, at least on the very exterior, on that last layer, because that's a layer that everybody's gonna see. Unfortunately, on this first attempt, I think I had my heat a little bit too high, or I just let the eggs go for too long. There was a lot of browning happening. I figured it was fine though. It's the perfect opportunity to practice a little bit. You basically want to alternate between layers of just egg and then layers of your nori and a piece of cheese. And continue that process until you run out of your egg mixture, which for me was about 4 layers. The heat setting on this electric oven goes 0 to 10, and I think I had mine on 3. So you want very low heat, you want to take your time here. You want to put down your nori like just before the top of the egg sets fully. I did forget to apply some more oil at times, so I had a little bit of sticking, but nothing major, and this one came out looking pretty darn good. By my standards anyway. Rie, you're gonna have to let me know what you think of all this chaos. I plated that guy up and set it off to the side for a bit while I started to work on my miso soup. So this one I'm not stressing too much. Ever since I've had that miso paste from a few months ago, I've experimented with different kinds of soups and using that ingredient in different ways. And it has become one of my favorites. Like, if you're trying to go for that super savory, like salty umami quality, there's few ingredients that are better than miso. I've made soups with it. I threw some down in my braising liquid when I was making short ribs. I even think I put it on a sandwich or a wrap or something not long ago. For today though, we're just using it in a pretty traditional soup. With some snap peas, some enoki mushrooms, and tofu. Shockingly, I found most of the stuff at my local Whole Foods. I had never even heard of enoki mushrooms until like 2 weeks ago. But this one comes together super simply. You make your dashi with whatever kind of like dried vegetables or soup-based granules you have. And dashi just means like fish broth, if you didn't know. And then I just threw all my other ingredients down into there. I took out a little bit of the broth to help that miso paste kind of dissolve a bit easier. And when that gets dumped in, that's pretty much it. I figured I'd let that simmer away and intensify a little bit while I worked on the last portion of this, which is the salmon. Some more of our miso paste is gonna get mixed together with sugar, sake, and mirin. That's gonna be our miso glaze for the fish. It's actually an ongoing joke in my house that cream cheese for me is like salmon for my dad. He loves most other fishes, but he hates salmon for some reason. Needless to say, whenever I'm cooking some, you know I have to run in the other room and stick it in his face. And sometimes he gags over it, which I think is nuts. Cause like, how can you hate a food item so much so that the sheer sight and smell of it just makes you dry heave? Crazy people. I don't know. So our fish is going to go down into a dry skillet with some parchment paper over medium-low heat. This guy definitely went a minute too long on this first side, which it's no big deal. I'll just cook it for less time on the other side. And with that finally done and plated along with some of our rice, it is finally time to have some breakfast. Now, do I feel bad that some of you are sitting home probably so hungry and just watching this video has made you even more so? Of course I do. I do wish there was just some way to like share food through the screen, but unfortunately, this is all for me today. So this is great. It's amazing how much flavor you get in that broth just from the dashi granules and some miso paste. I know there's normally some other stuff in like miso soup broth or dashi broth, like kombu, maybe some seaweed, other stuff like that. But that alone is fantastic. On to our second course. I was about to say that it was super delicious and I couldn't even tell that there was any seaweed in there. I don't think I got any, so hold on. Yeah, there you go. I don't think it's any secret that I don't love nori. It's very strong, like you have to, it's definitely an acquired taste, especially in this with like eggs and cheese. I don't hate it. I would imagine if you like nori, you'd love this, and it looks pretty cool. This right here though is what I'm looking forward to the most. I love salmon and this glaze. I am telling you guys, that reduction of mirin, sake, and sugar, like when it reduces and gets super sweet and sticky, put it on anything. It would make anything better. This is absolutely fantastic though. I actually wish I took more of that pan sauce for the rice. And I also wish I didn't overcook it by like a minute, but it's still pretty great. Please excuse me while I sit here and finish this. Let's just roll to the next clip, please. On today's lunch menu, we've got a Carabin bento box comprising of a soy edamame egg roll-up, some onigiri,
we bring bento to office and you can eat it in the train. Onigiri is typical
some onigiri rice balls, and then some onigiri, oh God help me. Some rice balls, and then some curry fried chicken. You will need some flour and sake, some potato starch and granulated sugar, boneless skinless chicken thighs, a couple eggs, now our curry powder and edamame, fresh ginger, fresh garlic, some cooked rice, soy sauce, fresh mint and basil, and some leftover salmon. I don't remember the exact video, but this chicken recipe reminds me a lot of something I've done in the past. The way it's marinated in freshly grated ginger and garlic, it's gonna sit in those aromatics with some soy and mirin for at least an hour, and then all that flavor is gonna get sealed in with a breaded coating. It's gonna be really delicious. While that was marinating though, I figured I'd get my egg portion out of the way, cause I mean, how hard can this be? I was just making Tamagoyaki egg omelets. Like, this is literally just an egg, some soy sauce, some edamame, gets rolled up. I don't know what the hell was going on with this, but I blame the pan.
What's so funny?
Or having too much egg in there. That could have been a possibility too. So I whipped up another batch, and this one was not much better, but I don't feel like doing this over again. I think the nonstick coating on this pan is just trash. I've had it for a while and they were probably cheap anyway. Maybe the cooking YouTuber who's been doing this for like 6 years should stop using crap nonstick pans. Third though was just a very simple mix of some of our leftover rice, some leftover salmon that I just chopped up into little pieces, and then some freshly sliced basil and mint. Back over to our now fully marinated chicken. I set up a really simple dredging station of 1 part flour to 1 part potato starch, which I love the idea of because obviously potato starch gives you a much crispier outer texture, but some flour in there is probably good for some tenderness too. If anyone ever tries to tell you that one single dredging ingredient is like the end-all be-all for all fried foods, they're wrong. That's the simplest way I can put it. Now it was time to form my rice balls, and to say this didn't work is an understatement. I don't know if this is the wrong rice. I don't know if I should have coated it in some kind of rice seasoning to make it stickier. The only way I got these to stay together was squeezing them so hard that they ended up looking like turds, but you know what? It's better than having nothing. I assembled my bento plate in the same fashion that Rie put hers together, and this is looking great, so let's give it a try. Do I have big ears? Somebody in the comments told me I have big ears the other day, and I've been self-conscious ever since. Anyways, it is lunchtime now, aka 12:30 at night. I probably could have stayed over there and not come to the table for this little plate, but here we are. This sorry little scallion flour was a very last-minute decision. Y'all know I was not about to put something else on here. This chicken is amazing. It is packed with flavor. Anytime you coat and fry boneless, skinless chicken thighs, it's gonna be good. Like, they're so hard to overcook because there's so much fat. You're not gonna dry them out, more likely than not. Now this I've been debating if I should even eat, and I think I'm gonna skip it, only because I'm 99% sure I'm allergic to edamame. I think they're in that like peanut, peas and legumes, like that family, so I'll avoid those, but I'm sure they're delicious. It's just egg and soy sauce. Will I even be able to pick this up in one piece? No. I kind of love the freshness of the basil and the mint in here. I don't know if this is what Rie's recipe is supposed to taste like, because I've never had that shiso, but this is great. Maybe this could do with a little bit of salt or like some kind of rice seasoning, because this is 80% rice with no seasoning in it. It's just the herbs and fish. But besides that, this was all delicious. Like, another great job, Rie. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave me a big old like. As I said, part 2. The rest of the recipes will be coming out next week, so look out for that. Also, I almost forgot, but recently I've been compiling a bunch of little candies and snacks and like cute referential stuff to the channel, including the most adorable custom little stickers of my channel art. So I got a bunch of stuff like this, some snacks that I bought for my patrons, the top 2 tiers, and I got a couple boxes left over. I want to say I got enough stuff for like 5 or maybe 6 more boxes, so if you want one and you want all the other perks that come along with my Patreon, the link's down in the description. Be one of the first 5 or 6 people to sign up after this video goes live, and I'll make sure to get you a box. Other than that though, have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you right back here next time. Peace!
Yeah. Flipping burgers and my money super lazy. Try and make a meal tonight, they ain't paying me. Try and supersize my life with my 18. Yeah, our style wasn't wavy, but we had a vision.